We're talking about the big boys. We want a big boy, not necessarily, but we are talking about the big boys. We're doing the state of the heavyweight division in the UFC, of course, with the heavyweight title on the line this weekend. We thought, what better time to go over this? Don't go anywhere. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm your boy DS, and I'm here with my guy, the one and only, the perfect Dino Bam.
Damn, I love that. Say it again. What was that?
The perfect
Dino
Bam. And why do I say that? Of course, I say it because you swept the entire card last week, even got most of the methods correct. So props to you, my friend. And you're just giving this shit out for free, huh?
Hey, that's what we do over here, DS. We go perfect sometimes. We give out free picks. We give out free bets in your parlay videos. We do it big here at the 10-7 MMA. And I know you wanted to do a little special shout out to somebody as you're
my
with
bad
your
there.
phone.
I don't know if you heard my alarm going the fuck off right now. But aside from you, and shout out to you, my friend, just wanted to give a quick shout out to our boy J-Mix, who produced our theme song and made the beat, that sick-ass beat that opens up every single video that we do pretty much. Props to him. He is now a Grammy-nominated producer. He produced a song on the 11:11 album of Chris Brown, which is Grammy-nominated now. So just props to him, man. He's been grinding. He's the shit. He's the shit. So props to him.
I was going to say, great dude, great music producer, all that.
All around. Yeah, absolutely. And props to you once again, my friend, because, we don't get too many of those. And to go absolutely perfect on the card, even got a couple of dog picks as well. Very, very nicely done, my friend.
Thank you. Hey, DS, we're here. We're not here to talk about perfection. I don't like to look in the past. I like to look towards the future, okay? The future.
Absolutely. And, of course, the reason why we're here right now is to discuss the heavyweight division in the UFC. And that when we say state of the division, what do we really mean? We just mean taking a general kind of zoomed out look of the division that we're talking about in that particular day. Today happens to be the heavyweight division. That is, of course, because the heavyweight belt is on the line this weekend. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, which we'll get into in a second here. But before we get into that, you want to just tell the people anything?
Yeah. I guess before we get into it, guys, if you could do us a favor, smash that like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us. We're on the road to 500. That may seem like a little DS, but it means a lot to us, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
It means something, okay? So smash that like button. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. Pictures with us and fighters, including Jon Jones. Both of us got a photo up right now with the GOAT himself. We got Charles Oliveira. That's it. You speak GOAT? Let's go.
I'm conversational, bro.
Right, I feel that.
But let's jump right into it, man. And let's just start right at the top at this point. You know, obviously this weekend, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. This is a fight that I guess needs to happen, right? Like, I don't know, whether you like it or not, this fight's happening, right? And the heavyweight belt's on the line. Jon Jones, of course, the champion at this point. Me and you talked about it a little bit earlier. I mean, I think we're both picking Jones here to win. Yeah. We're both picking Jones to win. I mean, the odds kind of speak for themselves. Minus 700 is the last that I saw. On top of that, Stipe, 42 years old. Look, you just said it earlier. We're looking to the future, right? There's no way that either of these guys are long for this division. I mean, this fight, it's kind of like the culmination of the current heavyweight division, right? After this, things are completely different.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dino, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We're in a new age of MMA, right? It's like the dying of an era, and we're moving on to another one, okay? Jon Jones, obviously, to a lot of people, he's the GOAT of the sport. He's definitely the GOAT of this past era that we're moving out of, right? Beat guys from a previous generation, guys from his own generation, beat a guy in Cyril Gane who is from a future generation of MMA. So this is like the culmination of that. It's the GOAT versus the heavyweight GOAT. Jon Jones obviously moving up from 205. It's a shame that we have guys like Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou that never got to meet, even though that was rumored to have be in the works. And of course, we're going to get on to Tom Aspinall in a second here. But Tom Aspinall, the interim champ, we're never going to see him versus Jones, it looks like. And we're never going to see him versus Francis Ngannou either. Those are the three best heavyweights on the planet right now. Shame we're never going to get to see them fight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and obviously Francis is his own thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
him and Dana, they don't get along. He's this none of those fights are ever going to happen, so it's not even worth mentioning at this point.
Yeah.
But he is absolutely in the conversation for the best heavyweights on the planet currently. So,
Yeah.
as far as this fight, man, what do you think are the odds that Jones hangs it up? I mean, I think Stipe is obviously going to hang it up no matter how the fight goes. But how do you think Jones is going to hang up his gloves after this?
I'd say it's like at this point, I'm feeling like 70-30 that John Jones hangs him up. I could see him winning this fight and being tempted to do an Alex Pereira fight if Alex Pereira wants to move up, like just a massive money fight. I can also see John Jones, the competitor that he is, Dino, winning this fight, taking a little bit of time off, and then being I wouldn't say like peer pressured into fighting Tom Aspinall, but that competitive, that competitor coming out of him should be like, fine, I'll do it one more time to shut you guys the fuck up, prove you wrong again. I'm going to beat Tom Aspinall and then get out of here. But I'd say 70-30, John Jones probably lays him down after this fight.
Yeah. I don't think in my head it's not quite that high. I think it's more like 50-50 or maybe even a little bit less than that. I heard DC say something recently, right? And he said that basically he believes that John Jones is kind of like, he's obviously not scared of Tom Aspinall, which that's silly to think overall. But he's kind of positioning to try to get just a huge money fight. So you know what? Personally, I could see John Jones hanging him up, right? And then coming back for one more encore fight with some fat money, either versus Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira. I don't think we see both of those fights, but I think that there's a good chance that we see one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think we get two more John Jones fights after this one. It's one or none to me.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So then, I mean, obviously now the third man out here, the backup fighter in this fight is Tom Aspinall, right? He is the interim champ. I think he's levels above anybody else that's currently on the UFC roster. Do you agree?
Not really, man. I mean, yes, Dino, for the rest of the guys, I have a hard time saying it about John Jones.
Not John Jones. Not John Jones. I mean,
Everybody else.
besides John Jones.
Yeah. I mean, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
There's really not much to say, unfortunately, with Tom Aspinall, right, Dino? Like, and I'm sorry to, cut you off right here, but
no.
Tom Aspinall's in a situation where he is this heavyweight division, and we're going to get into it right here, is in like a terrible place right now. You've been talking about this. You've been talking about it since the beginning of this channel. I want to say our first episode, you were harping on the fact that the heavyweight division's in a fucking miserable place. It's gotten worse somehow. It's gotten worse. There is literally nothing for Tom Aspinall. John Jones has kind of been saying and pushing the narrative of Tom Aspinall, you got to do more. Do what I did. Get to 13 title fights or whatever it is, and then I'll be impressed. And it's like Stipe Miocic is the heavyweight record holder with title defenses at like 3, I want to say. Tom Aspinall should pass that up with ease. There's nobody to fight this guy. And anybody that gets in there with him is probably going to get finished very quickly.
Yeah, he's super well-rounded. If Jones does hang him up and Tom is the next champ, he's going to be a champion for a long fucking time, man. I mean,
yeah.
There's just no other guy on the roster that, I mean, there's a few guys that we kind of have in the next tier that we can talk about, but I mean, other than that, man, the heavyweight division is absolutely in flux. It's in flux. I mean, big guys just are either have a glaring weakness, even in the best organization in the entire sport, in the UFC, either have a glaring weakness, are completely out of shape, or 40 years old, right? And like, you look at somebody like Andrei Arlovsky, who's still been doing well in this division overall, all things considered. Like, he doesn't give anybody an easy fight, and he's 50 years old, right? So,
yeah.
Anyway, there's a couple other fights that are coming up.
Yeah.
That we can discuss. Volkov versus Gane, obviously. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I think, again, going with the assumption that John Jones is going to win the fight, or even if it is Stipe, right? Like, we expect both guys to retire. You said Stipe, you fully expect to retire. John, you gave one of these. But either way, you expect both guys to walk away from the sport. I do as well after Saturday. So if Tom Aspinall gets upgraded, Dino, to being the undisputed champion, or even if he has to somehow win that, honor or title, I think he probably faces off against the winner of this fight. I would go with Cyril Gane in this one. Very early prediction, but I think Cyril Gane, just being younger, being more athletic. I know he's more one-dimensional than Volkov. But God, I hope Cyril Gane wins for the sake of the state of the division, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And obviously Jones dominated him last time out. Cyril Gane still fairly fresh in MMA, all things considered. And, hopefully he's been working on his ground game. He hasn't been very active. But these are two guys that I would put in that next tier, right? I think either one of them on the right night could give Tom Aspinall or somebody like Tom Aspinall a decent fight. Volkov's obviously bulked up. He's looked really good lately. Gane, he's great on the feet. He's unbelievable on the feet. He's smooth as butter, right? But, is that ground game ever going to get up to something where you're going to put up a fight against somebody like Tom Aspinall, who's extremely well-rounded?
Right. And I don't know that it ever will get to that point, but what I do know is we've seen Volkov versus Tom Aspinall, and Volkov's been on a great run since that fight. He's won a couple fights in a row. He's looked like rejuvenated, but he got dominated by Tom Aspinall. So that's not a fight I want to see again, or I need to see again. Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall, again, taking John Jones out of the situation, is the biggest heavyweight fight you could make in the world right now, right? If you take out Francis and John Jones, I guess it's the biggest fight in the promotion for sure in terms of the heavyweight division.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. All right. There's another fight that's coming up. Pavlovich versus Rosenstrike. Now, man, Pavlovich, he's in the Volkov fight, obviously got kind of dominated. To be honest with you. Volkov was in his head, kept the distance. He could not get in on him. At all. And then Rosenstrike, we know who Rosenstrike is, right? I mean, so Pavlovich is somebody who's a little bit of a question mark, right? Because at times he looked, I remember when him and Tom Aspinall were going to fight, people were like, oh shit, this is a tight one, right?
Yeah.
This is a, man, anybody could win this. Could go either way. Either guy could knock each other out. And then, I mean, look what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Dino, it's the heavyweight division, right? So anytime you're a guy like Sergey Pavlovich, you have that much power in your hands. He can put anyone out cold very quickly with one shot. So he's an interesting dude. And yes, before that Tom Aspinall fight, he sort of had that, right? He had like that aura around him. Like he had the touch of death, basically. Let's put it that way. And he looked so bad in that fight versus Volkov that he lost like more aura than anybody, negative 10,000 aura in that fight.
Yeah, you're right.
So he's a guy that might be kind of flying under the radar. And again, for the sake of the division, I think it's best that Sergey Pavlovich wins this fight. Maybe he gets himself one more win, and then we can get a Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall rematch. Because I really think that if there's anyone in this division today, right now, near the top 10, top 15 that could beat Tom Aspinall, it's probably Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, to me, that's kind of the last guy that could be in that tier, could be in that top tier with Tom Aspinall if things break right for him, right?
Yeah.
Rosenstrike, I think we kind of know who he is, man. He's always going to be at the, because, I mean, nothing against him. He's a pretty good fighter, but he's going to be at the top of this division for as long as he wants to be, because simply it's very top heavy. And after you get outside of like the top 6 or 7, it's kind of like there's not much there.
Yeah. The only other person, Dino, in the division that I think, needs to be mentioned is a guy in Curtis Blades. Obviously, got knocked out by Tom Aspinall in Aspinall's last fight, but he technically holds a win over him, right? That was the fight where Tom Aspinall got injured, popped his knee or whatever. But Curtis Blades, a very, very dangerous, powerful grappler, has some pretty heavy hands as well. This is a guy that could present something to Tom Aspinall in the form of wrestling that, like, I know Tom Aspinall is a great jiu-jitsu practitioner and a good grappler, but it's somebody that could present some sort of problems. Curtis Blades does have a shot at beating him as well.
He does.
And again, it's heavyweight. All these guys got a shot, but I mean like a legitimate chance at winning. It's Pavlovich, Blades, Gane in that order to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put Volkov in there too, man. I mean, I think there's some possibility that he puts up a decent fight.
I mean, of course, right? He's a veteran. He's well-rounded. He's tall. He's got some power. He looks younger somehow. He's fucking doing his hair in the corner and shit. I would do that too if I had hair, but
Yeah.
Dino, you can only be so many things. Like, I can either go perfect on cards or I could have had a full head of hair. You know what I'm saying? But I choose the latter. But yeah,
I
man,
feel you, man. I feel you. I didn't go perfect, and I'm still bizzled. So,
it happens.
and then there's really one last guy that we need to talk about, and that, of course, is Alex Pereira Poatan. I mean, look. There's really only 3 fights that I'm truly, truly interested in. If we're talking about the very tippy top of this division, that's Jones versus Poatan, Aspinall versus Poatan, and Aspinall versus Jones.
So
Right?
that
It's
little,
those 3 guys.
you just want to
What's
see
up?
that little menage right there.
I just want to see those 3 guys fight each other. That's pretty much it, right? And again, I don't think we're going to see Jones fight both these guys, but it seems like he's a lot more willing to fight Pereira. Again, is he positioning for a bigger payday to fight somebody like Tom Aspinall? That seems like the obvious next fight. But Alex Pereira, because he is the light heavyweight champ, right? It kind of gives more closure in a way on its own, right? So I guess I could this is the one guy that he could get away with fighting, and he's also so highly regarded too. That's not Tom Aspinall that I think people would be like, all right, fine. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
mean, Dino, there's a lot that goes into this, and I'm going to try to boil it down, into a couple sentences. But Alex Pereira is the biggest star in the UFC currently. He
Yep.
also looks like probably the scariest guy in the UFC currently. I
Yep.
don't think that John Jones is trying to duck Tom Aspinall, but I think it does way more for his legacy to beat a guy in Alex Pereira than at the end of the day it would look, if he had beat Tom Aspinall. Tom
Yeah.
Aspinall may very well go down as the greatest heavyweight of all time. That's yet to be seen. Alex Pereira, at this point, he's an older guy with an established legacy that was made in only 2 to 3 years in the promotion. And it's going to be something that you're going to remember forever. No matter what happens in the future with Alex Pereira, he's still Alex Pereira. He had that run. Tom Aspinall is not yet at that point. It's an easier fight for John Jones to fight Alex Pereira. He's older. He's smaller than Tom Aspinall. He has 0 grappling. It's an easier fight against a smaller guy. Like, I get it. And it's bigger for your legacy and probably makes more money.
Yep. I was just going to say that. That's the bigger money fight, I feel like. I mean, you literally have the GOAT versus the current biggest star in the promotion who has unbelievable amounts of aura. So I think this is a fight that would make people quickly forget that they ever wanted him to fight Tom Aspinall.
Yeah,
So,
1,000%.
yeah.
That
So
that easily breaks 1,000,000 pay-per-views. That easily breaks that probably breaks like 1.5, man.
I think it does.
We get to McGregor in his heyday type numbers if we get Alex Pereira going up to heavyweight to try to get that 3rd belt against John Jones in
There are
his
so many
retirement.
storylines there. There are so
Yeah.
many storylines there, like that you can run with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, man. The UFC overall has a big, big problem in this division. Once Jones is gone, once Stipe is gone, it's basically Tom Aspinall and then 3 or 4 guys who are pretty damn good, but probably on a good day, sure, they can beat him, but are probably not going to beat Tom Aspinall. He's going to bounce around them a few times, and then what? So, I mean, man, if you're a big athletic dude, right, and you're 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and you like to hit people, do it, man. Go give it a shot, right? Get into a gym, just start fucking learning some shit. Maybe you like it, right? And maybe if you're athletic, you're strong enough. Like, there are just not that many big ass dudes who like to get hit and hit. If you're that athletic in this country, right, you're playing football. If you're playing potentially basketball, right? So it's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, it's the division's in flux. Hopefully we get some, new people that randomly come in. I don't even know like worldwide who there is, right? Like, but that's all I got for you, man.
Yeah, Dino, and I'll say just, watching a lot of these MMA leagues and massive promotions, we just had a guy in Rugrug win a world title and won, and it's just like that guy would not even be in the top 15 in the UFC. So
Yep.
there's nothing out there for right now. I also second what you're saying. You're a big dude, you're athletic. There is no reason. I mean, if you like fighting, obviously, most people don't want to get punched in the fucking mouth. But if you're a big dude and you're athletic and you're fucking got a little mean streak to you and you want to just go out there and try this shit, like really, you can do it. And I would say you could start up until like your early mid 20s in the heavyweight division. You don't have to be a guy that's been training since you were 13 in high school wrestling and shit. Like,
nope. Look, there's already that pipeline, right? If you were a college football player, right, and you're 6'5" and you're like 25 years old, you're not going to the NFL, give it a fucking shot.
Yeah, I'm with you. But anyways, that's the state of the heavyweight division. God, I really hope, Dino, that the next time we do the heavyweight division, state of the, I was going to say state of the union, state of the fucking division, I hope we're in a better place. I doubt we will be because it just doesn't look promising. It doesn't
Bro,
look
I literally
promising.
was looking through. I was looking through the Tapology, like all the overall rankings. There's not a soul there.
Right. So whatever. Hopefully we're in a better place. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, guys. Look at those odds. That takes place this Saturday. DS, you're dropping the what's it called? The betting
We'll do
video.
the betting video probably tomorrow if we can find the props.
Okay, so guys, look out for DS's best bets video. He's been on a fucking hot streak. We're gonna do a full card breakdown together, like how you guys have been used to, and then look out for MMA Casuals Guide. We have 3 videos dropping in the next 2-3 days, so keep an eye out for that.
And of course, check out the quick picks.
Hey, yeah, check out the quick picks. Link in the fucking bio. And guys, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna know when that shit drops? Because you're gonna like, subscribe, and you're gonna ring the fucking bell. DS.
Boop.
Guys, that's the sound of the bell. It took him a second. He's a little rusty, and we usually do it at the beginning of the video. But that's the sound of the bell. That's going to notify you when our videos drop. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA to look at us next to John Jones. I think that's a reason I would go somewhere, just to look at us two with John Jones.
Just 2 fat guys next to John Jones.
That's it. And it was me slightly less fat because I wasn't on a torn Achilles. DS, if I wasn't in my mid-30s and on a torn Achilles, I could be a heavyweight in the UFC. So you guys can too.
On God.
So you can too over there, okay? Little Timmy or Big Timmy, whoever the fuck's watching. Anyways, DS, anything else to say?
Yeah.
Anything else, DS?
No, I'm good.
There we go. Guys, he is DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. We are the 107 MMA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.